The morning alarm buzzed through the research station Kepler 7. Dr. Hansal rolled out of his narrow bunk and stretched his tired muscles. Another day of studying rocks and alien plants on this distant world. He had been here for 6 months now. Far from Earth and far from his family, Hansal walked to the small window in his quarters. The planet below looked peaceful. Green forests covered most of the land. Purple mountains rose in the distance. 2 small moons hung in the orange sky. It was beautiful, but it was not home. "Hansal, are you awake?" The voice came from the communication device on his wall. It was Dr. Sujin, his research partner. "Yes, I am up," Hansal replied. "What do you need?" "We have a problem in Section 7. The mining equipment hit something big. Tejo wants us to check it out." Hansal sighed. The mining robots were always breaking things. Last week they had destroyed a whole field of rare flowers. The week before that they had damaged an underground water source. He put on his research uniform and walked to the main lab. Sujin was already there, checking her equipment. She was a small woman with kind eyes and quick hands. She had studied alien animals for 10 years. "What did the mining robots hit this time?" Hansal asked. "We do not know yet, but it is big, very big, and it is alive." Tejo entered the lab carrying a tablet computer. He was the chief engineer on the station. His job was to keep all the machines working. He looked worried. "The mining robot stopped working 3 hours ago," Tejo said. "The sensors show something large near the mining site. Something that was not there yesterday." "How large?" Sujin asked. "About the size of a small transport ship, maybe bigger." Hansal and Sujin looked at each other. Nothing that big lived on this planet. They had been studying the local animals for months. The biggest creature they had found was about the size of a dog. "We need to go look," Hansal said. "The captain does not want anyone to leave the station," Tejo replied. "He says it might be dangerous." Captain Sathok was from the Valkyrie species. His people looked like large lizards that walked on 2 legs. They were good at flying spaceships, but they were always worried about danger. "We are scientists," Sujin said. "Our job is to study new things. If there is a new animal on this planet, we need to learn about it." Tejo nodded. "I will ask the captain again. But you should prepare your equipment just in case." Hansal and Sujin spent the next hour getting ready. They packed medical supplies, recording devices, and food. They also took weapons, even though they hoped they would not need them. Captain Sathok finally agreed to let them go, but he sent 2 security guards with them. The guards were from the Threx species. They looked like giant insects with 4 arms and big eyes. The group took a small transport vehicle to the mining site. The ride took 30 minutes through the forest. Hansal enjoyed looking at the strange trees and colorful birds. This planet was full of life, even if most of it was small. "There," Tejo pointed ahead. "You can see the mining robot." The big machine sat still in a clearing. It looked like a metal spider with digging arms, but it was not moving. Its lights were off. "Where is the large creature?" one of the Threx guards asked. "The sensors said it was right here," Tejo replied. Looking at his tablet, they got out of the transport and walked toward the mining robot. The forest was very quiet. No birds sang. No insects buzzed. Even the wind seemed to have stopped. "Something is wrong," Sujin whispered. Then they heard it. A low sound, like singing, but deeper than any human voice. It seemed to come from everywhere at once. The sound made Hansal feel sad, like he had lost something important. The 2 Threx guards stopped walking. Their big eyes grew even bigger. "We should go back," one guard said. His voice was shaking. "What is wrong?" Hansal asked. "That sound, it fills me with fear." "We must leave now." Captain Sathok's voice came through their communication devices. "Security team, report your status." "Captain, we hear a strange sound," the guard replied. "It makes us afraid. We request permission to return to the station." "Negative. Complete your mission first." But the guards would not move forward. They stood frozen, looking around with frightened eyes. "I do not hear anything scary," Sujin said to Hansal. "Do you?" Hansal listened carefully. The sound was still there, but it did not frighten him. It made him feel lonely and worried, like someone was calling for help. "It sounds sad to me," he said. Teho nodded. "I feel the same way, but look at the guards." The Threx guards were backing away slowly. Their hands were on their weapons, but they were shaking. "We will wait here," one guard said. "You go look at the mining robot." Hansal, Sujin, and Teho walked forward alone. As they got closer to the mining robot, the singing sound grew louder. Now they could see that one of the robot's digging arms was bent and broken. What could be strong enough to break that? Teho wondered. They walked around the mining robot. On the other side, they found their answer. The creature was huge. It lay on its side near a group of tall trees. Its body was as long as 3 cars placed end to end. It looked like a Volf, but much bigger. Its fur was not normal fur. It seemed to be made of crystal that changed colors slowly. Right now, the colors were dark blue and purple. "It is beautiful," Sujin said in a quiet voice. The creature's eyes were open. They were large and golden, like small suns. When the creature saw the humans, it lifted its head slightly. The singing sound grew louder. "It is hurt," Hansal said. He could see blood on the creature's side where the mining robot had hit it. "And it is pregnant," Sujin added. "Look at its belly." The creature's belly was large and round. Sometimes it moved as if the babies inside were kicking. The golden eyes looked at the 3 humans. Hansal felt like the creature was trying to tell them something. The singing continued, but now it sounded more hopeful. "We have to help it," Hansal said. "But we do not know what it is," Teho replied. "It could be dangerous." "Look at its eyes," Sujin said. "Does it look dangerous to you?" The creature made a different sound, softer than before. It sounded almost like a question. Behind them, one of the Threx guards called out, "Humans, come back now. That thing is making us sick." But Hansal could not leave. Something about this creature felt important. Very important, like finding it was not an accident. "We need to call the station," he said. "This changes everything." 3 days had passed since they found the creature. News traveled fast through the galaxy, and now Kepler-7 was no longer a quiet research station. Hansal stood in the main meeting room, watching ships arrive through the big window. First came the science ships, then the military ships. Each one was bigger than the last. The small research station felt very crowded now. "Dr. Hansal, please sit down," Captain Sothok said. The lizard-like captain looked more worried than usual. His green scales were darker, which meant he was stressed. Around the table sat many important people. There was Dr. Yunwo, the famous alien animal expert from the Central Science Academy. Next to him sat General Bakhayan from the Galactic Defense Force. Several alien scientists sat on the other side of the table. "Tell us again what happened when you found this creature," Dr. Yunwo said. He was an older human with gray hair and tired eyes. Hansal had told this story many times in the past 3 days. "We heard singing." The alien guards became afraid, but we humans did not. The creature was hurt and pregnant. It looked at us like it wanted to say something. "And it has not moved since then?" General Bakhayan asked. "No, it stays in the same place. We bring it water and food, but it barely eats." Sujin spoke up from across the table. "The creature is getting weaker. Its crystal fur is not as bright as before. The singing is quieter now. Maybe it is dying," said one of the alien scientists. This was Dr. Vextor, a tall blue creature with 6 arms. "We should study it quickly before we lose the chance." "We cannot get close enough to study it properly," Dr. Yunwo said. "Every non-human who goes near that creature feels overwhelming fear. My Valkyrie assistants cannot even look at it without shaking." Teho had been quiet, but now he spoke. "I have been recording the sounds it makes. The computer says there are patterns, like it might be a language." "Impossible," Dr. Vextor said. "We have never found an animal that uses complex language." "But we have never found an animal like this before," Hansal said. General Bakhayan stood up. He was a short, serious man who always looked angry. "We are not here to debate what the creature is. We are here to decide what to do with it. What do you mean? Sujin asked. This creature affects the minds of most galactic species. It could be a weapon. It could be dangerous. It is hurt and pregnant, Hansal said, his voice getting louder. It is not a weapon. How do you know that? Because it looks sad. Because it sings pretty songs? The general's face was red now. What if those songs control your mind? What if it is making you think it is harmless? Dr. Yanwu raised his hand for quiet. General, please, let us think about this carefully. I have thought about it, the general replied. The safest thing is to contain the creature. Put it in a cage and study it properly. It is too big for any cage we have, Tejo said. Then we build a bigger cage. No, Hansal said, standing up. We will not put it in a cage. Dr. Hansal, you are not in charge. Here, Captain Sothok said. This is a military matter now. Sujin also stood up. The creature is not hurting anyone. It just lies there. It does not try to attack. Because it is too weak, General Bakhayan said. What happens when it gets stronger? What happens when it has its babies? Dr. Yanwu looked at his tablet computer. My team has been studying the creature from a distance for 3 days. We have learned some interesting things. Everyone looked at him. First, the creature only affects certain species. Humans feel sadness but no fear. Most reptile species feel extreme fear. Insect species feel panic. Other mammal species have different reactions. What does that mean? Captain Sothok asked. I do not know yet. But it suggests the creature's abilities are very specific. Not random. Second, Dr. Yanwu continued, the creature's body temperature is wrong. It is too cold to be a normal animal. And its fur is not really fur. It is some kind of crystal that grows from its skin. Third, we have detected energy readings from the creature that match our hyperspace engines. This is very strange. Tejo leaned forward. You mean it might be able to travel through hyperspace? Maybe, or maybe it comes from hyperspace originally. The room was quiet for a moment. Everyone was thinking about what this meant. General Bakhayon broke the silence. All the more reason to contain it. If it can travel through hyperspace, it could escape at any time. Or call for help, added Dr. Vextor. Help. From what? Sujin asked. From others like it. What if there are more of these creatures? What if they are all coming here? Hansal felt frustrated. You are all afraid of something that has not happened. The creature has done nothing wrong. Yet, the general said. Dr. Yanwu stood up. I suggest we continue studying the creature. For now, but we should prepare for different possibilities. What kind of possibilities? Captain Sothok asked. If the creature dies, we need to be ready to preserve its body for study. If it has its babies, we need to know how to handle them. If more creatures arrive, we need a plan. And if it becomes dangerous? General Bakhayan asked. Dr. Yanwu looked uncomfortable. Then we do what we must do. Hansal did not like the sound of that. What does that mean? It means we have weapons pointed at it, the general said. If the creature attacks, we will stop it. It is not going to attack. Anyone, Sujin said. How can you be so sure? Because we have been with it for 3 days. We bring it food and water. If it wanted to hurt us, it would have done it already. The meeting continued for another hour, but nothing was decided. The scientists wanted to study the creature more. The military wanted to contain it. The station crew just wanted everyone to leave. After the meeting, Hansal walked back to his quarters. He was tired and worried. Through his small window, he could see the creature in the distance. Even from far away, he could see that its crystal fur was dimmer than before. Su-Jin knocked on his door. Can I come in? Yes, she sat on his small chair. I am worried about the creature. Me too. I think it is trying to communicate with us, but we do not understand what it is saying. Hansal nodded. Tejo's recordings show patterns. Like a language, but the computers cannot translate it. Maybe the computers are not smart enough. Maybe we need to listen differently. What do you mean? Sujin was quiet for a moment. I had a strange dream last night. I dreamed I was walking through a forest under stars I did not recognize, and I heard a voice calling a name. What name? I could not understand it clearly, but it sounded important, like someone was looking for someone they loved. Hansal felt a chill. I had a similar dream. I was in space, but I was not afraid. Something was guiding me, protecting me. Do you think the creature is causing these dreams? I do not know, but I think we need to try harder to understand it. Sujin stood up. The general wants to put it in a cage tomorrow. Dr. Yanwu is trying to delay him, but he cannot wait much longer. Then we need to figure this out tonight. How? Hansal looked out his window at the creature. We go talk to it. Really talk to it, not just bring it food and leave. That could be dangerous. Everything is dangerous now. But doing nothing is the most dangerous thing of all. That night, Hansal could not sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the same dream. He was standing in a field of stars and someone was calling his name. Not his real name, but a different name. A name that felt like home dot at 3 in. The morning, he gave up trying to sleep. He put on his clothes and walked to the laboratory. To his surprise, Sujin was already there. She was sitting at the computer listening to recordings of the creature's songs. Could not sleep either? Hansal asked. The dreams are getting stronger, Sujin said. I keep hearing that name. It sounds like Narashi, but I'm not sure. Hansal sat down next to her. That is the same name I heard. What does it mean? I looked it up. In Old Korean, Nara means country or nation. She can mean poem or song. But together, Narashi could mean starwind in some ancient dialects. Starwind? That is a strange name for an animal. Taeho walked into the laboratory. His hair was messy and his eyes were red. I could not sleep. The dreams are too strong. You had the dreams too? Sujin asked. Yes, but mine were different. I saw old Earth thousands of years ago. People were looking up at the stars and something was watching them back. Hansal felt confused. Why are we all having these dreams, and why now? I think the creature is trying to tell us something, Sujin said. Maybe these are not just dreams. Maybe they are memories. Whose memories? I do not know. But I have been studying the creature's songs all night. Listen to this. She played a recording. The creature's voice was sad and beautiful. But now Hansal could hear something else in it. Patterns, rhythms, like a language. I separated the different sounds, Sujin continued. There are 3 main themes that repeat. The first one always comes when the creature looks toward the sky. The second one comes when it sees humans. The third one is new. It started yesterday. What changed yesterday? Taeho asked. Dr. Yanwu arrived. And the military ships? Hansal listened to the recordings again. The third theme sounds urgent, like a warning. Or a call for help, Sujin said. Taeho sat down at another computer. I've been researching something. Dr. Yanwu said the creature's energy readings match our hyperspace engines. So I looked up old human legends about space travel. What did you find? Stories, very old stories, from before we had real spaceships. Stories about guardian spirits that help travelers find their way through dangerous places. Guardian spirits? Hansal asked. In some stories they look like wolves. Big wolves that could walk between worlds. They protected people who were lost or in danger. Sujin looked excited. That could explain why only humans can approach the creature without fear. What if our species have met before? But that is impossible, Hansal said. Humans have only been in space for a few hundred years. Official human space travel, Taeho corrected. But what if some humans went to space earlier? Much earlier. What if they had help? The 3 friends looked at each other. The idea seemed crazy, but it felt right somehow. We need to tell Dr. Yanwu, Sujin said. He will not believe us, Hansal replied. Then we need proof. Taeho stood up. I know how to get proof. We go to the creature and we try to communicate properly. Not just bring it food. Really talk to it. The general has guards watching it now, Sujin said. The guards are afraid of the creature. They stay far away. If we are quiet, we can get close. Hansal felt nervous. What if we are wrong? What if the creature is dangerous? Then we will find out, Tejo said. But doing nothing is not working. The creature is getting weaker every day. They gathered their equipment quietly, recording devices, medical supplies, and food for the creature. They also took a portable translator, even though it had not worked. Before, the station was quiet at night. Most people were sleeping. The guards were at their posts, but they were not paying close attention. Everyone was tired after 3 days of excitement. The three friends walked through the forest toward the creature. The night was dark, but the 2 moons gave enough light to see. The forest was still very quiet. No animals made any sounds near. The creature died. As they got closer, they could hear the creature's song. Tonight it sounded different, more personal, like it was singing just for them. Look, Sujin whispered. The creature was awake. Its golden eyes were looking directly at them. Its crystal fur was glowing softly in the moonlight. The colors were mostly blue and silver now. It knows we are coming, Hansal said. They walked slowly toward the creature. It did not move, but its song became more complex. The portable translator started making small noises, trying to process the sounds. When they were about 10 steps away, the creature did something amazing. It lifted its huge head and spoke one clear word, Narashi. The translator immediately responded, Starwind, name, identity, self. It is telling us its name, Sujin breathed. Hansal stepped forward. Narashi? The creature's eyes brightened. It made a sound that was almost like a purr. The translator said, Yes, recognition, joy. It understands us, Tahoe said. Narashi made more sounds. The translator worked harder now. Long time, searching, lost children, home. Lost children? Hansal asked. What children? The creature looked at him with those golden eyes. When it spoke again, Hansal felt the words in his mind as well as hearing them. Small ones who travel between stars. Brave ones who go where others fear. My children, your ancestors, Sujin gasped. It is talking about humans? It calls us its children. Your ancestors and mine were friends, the translator continued to relay Narashi's words. We guided you through the dark places. We protected you from the dangers in the deep sky, but you forgot us. You learned to travel alone. Tejo knelt down near the creature. We did not forget on purpose, we just did not know. Some knew. Some remembered, but they are gone now. I have searched for so long to find you again. Why? Hansal asked. Narashi's fur colors changed to deep purple and gold. Because the dark places are growing. The dangers in the deep sky are returning, and my people are few now. We need our old friends. We need our children. The creature looked at its swollen belly. These little ones carry the old memories. They will know the ancient songs, but they need to be born among friends, not strangers. You came here to find humans? Sujin asked. I followed the old paths. The star roads your people used long ago, they led me here. But the metal creatures hurt. Narashi looked toward the broken mining robot. We want to help you, Hansal said. But there are others here who are afraid. Yes, I can feel their fear. It is not their fault. My kind and their kind never learned to trust each other. Only humans were different. Only humans could hear our true songs. Suddenly, bright lights shone through the trees. Voices shouted in the distance. The guards found us, Tejo said. Narashi made a sad sound. They will take you away. They will? Try to cage me. We will not let them, Hansal promised. But as the guards got closer, he wondered how they could keep that promise. Stop right there. The guards' voices echoed through the forest. Hansal, Sujin, and Tejo stood frozen next to Narashi. The bright lights made it hard to see, but they could hear boots running through the trees. We have to go, Tejo whispered. No, Hansal said. If we run now, they will never let us come back. Narashi made a low, worried sound. Her crystal fur turned dark red, which meant she was afraid. Do not be scared, Sujin said softly to the creature. We will protect you. 6 guards ran into the clearing. 3 were human soldiers from the Galactic Defense Force. 3 were Threx insect people who could barely look at Narashi without shaking. Step away from the creature immediately, commanded Sergeant Dalho, the lead human guard. Her name is Narashi, Hansal said, not moving. I do not care what its name is. You are violating direct orders from General Bakhayan. Sujin stepped closer to Narashi. She is trying to communicate with us. She needs our help. The only help it needs is a cage, one of the Threx guards said from far away. That thing is dangerous. Narashi heard this and made a sad noise. The translator, still working, said, Hurt, misunderstood, alone. See? Tejo said, she is not dangerous. She is just lonely. Sergeant Dalho spoke into his communication. Device. We found them. 3 researchers in direct contact with the alien creature, requesting backup. Negative, came General Bakhayan's voice through the device. Bring them back immediately. Do not let them touch that thing. She already touched us, Hansal said, in our minds. She shared her memories with us. That proves it is dangerous, the sergeant said. Mind control, not control, Sujin argued. Communication like talking, but deeper. More lights appeared. Through the trees, a whole squad of soldiers was coming. Behind them, Hansal could see Dr. Yan Wu and Captain Sothok. This is going to be bad, Tejo muttered. Narashi struggled to lift her huge head. She looked at the approaching soldiers and made a sound Hansal had never heard before. It was like a warning growl, but sadder. The translator said, Protect. Young ones, protect friends, danger comes. She thinks the soldiers are here to hurt us, Sujin realized. Narashi tried to stand up, but she was too weak. Her injured side started bleeding again from the effort. Please do not move, Hansal said to her. You will hurt yourself more. But Narashi kept trying to get up. Her crystal fur was now bright red mixed with gold. The translator said, Must protect. Cannot fail again. Again? Hansal asked, What do you mean again? Before Narashi could answer, General Bakhayan arrived with 20 soldiers. He was carrying a large weapon that looked like it could hurt even a creature as big as Narashi. Dr. Hansal, Dr. Sujin, Engineer Tejo, the general said loudly. You are under arrest for disobeying direct orders and endangering the station. We are not in danger, Hansal said. Narashi would never hurt us. Narashi? The general looked confused. It is her name. She told us herself. Dr. Yan Wu stepped forward. He looked very interested. The creature spoke to you? How? She has been trying to speak to everyone, Sujin said. But only humans can understand her properly. Impossible, said Captain Sothok. No animal has that kind of intelligence. Narashi made a sound that might have been laughter. The translator. Sod, not animal, not like you're thinking, older, different. Everyone stared at the translator device. It can talk, Dr. Yan Wu said in amazement. She can talk, Tejo corrected. And she has been trying to talk to us for days. General Bakhayan raised his weapon. I do not care if it can recite poetry. It is affecting the minds of everyone on this station. That makes it a threat. She is not affecting our minds, Hansal said. She is sharing memories. There is a difference. What memories? Memories of when humans and her people were friends. Long ago, before we had modern spaceships. Her people helped our ancestors travel safely through space. The general laughed, but it was not a happy sound. That is ridiculous. Humans have only been in space for a few hundred years. Official records say that, Tejo said. But what if the official records are wrong? Dr. Yan Wu was studying his scanning device. General, I am reading very strange energy patterns from the creature. The readings are getting stronger. What kind of patterns? Hyperspace energy. Lots of it, more than our biggest engines produce. Narashi made an urgent sound. The translator said, Danger approaches. Dark hunters in the deep sky. Must warn, must prepare. What is she talking about? Captain Sothok asked. Hansal felt a chill. In his mind he could see flashes of Narashi's memories, dark shapes moving between stars. Creatures that fed on fear and destroyed everything they touched. There is something coming, he said. Something bad. That is why she came to find us. That is enough, General Bakhayan said. This creature is clearly affecting your minds. Guards, arrest these three and prepare the containment field. No, Sujin stepped in front of Narashi. You cannot cage her. She is pregnant. The stress could kill her babies. Better than letting those babies grow up to threaten the galaxy. Felt anger building inside him. These people would not listen. They were too afraid to see the truth. He made a decision that surprised everyone, including himself. He walked directly toward Narashi, ignoring all the soldiers and their weapons. He knelt down next to her huge head and placed his hand on her crystal fur. Hansal, get back! Dr. Yanwu shouted, but Hansal did not move. When he touched Narashi, he felt warmth and kindness. He felt centuries of loneliness and searching. He felt love for creatures she called her star children. I believe you, he said softly to Narashi. I believe everything you told us. Narashi's golden eyes filled with what looked like tears. Her crystal fur changed to soft blue and white. Colors, the translator said. Thank you, Star Child. Thank you for remembering. What is happening? General Bakhayan demanded. Hansal looked up at all the soldiers and scientists. She is not our enemy. She is our oldest friend. And she came. Here to warn us about something terrible that is coming. Warn us about what? Before Hansal could answer, alarms started ringing throughout the forest. Captain Sothok's communication device crackled to life. Captain, we have multiple hyperspace signatures approaching the system, large ships, unknown design. Everyone looked at each other with fear. Narashi made a sound that was part song, part cry of pain. The translator said, Too late. They followed me. The Dark Hunters have found you. In the distance, the sky began to change color as strange ships entered. Normal space. The sky turned purple, then black, then purple again. Strange lights moved across the darkness like hunting animals. Everyone in the forest looked up in fear. How many ships? General Bakhayan shouted into his communication device. 12 confirmed. Sir, possibly more coming? They are not responding to our signals. Hansal kept his hand on Narashi's crystal fur. Through the connection, he could feel her fear and sadness. What are those ships? He asked her quietly, the translator carried. Her answer to everyone. Shadow feeders, void hunters. They consume fear and pain. They followed my trail here. Your trail? Dr. Yanwu asked, stepping closer despite the chaos. When my people travel through hyperspace, we leave traces, like footprints in the deep dark. The shadow feeders follow these traces to find new worlds to hunt. Sujin knelt down next to Hansal. But why did they follow you specifically? Narashi's colors turned deep blue with streaks of silver. Because I am the last of the old guard. My people once protected many worlds from the shadow feeders, but we grew few. Most of my kind are gone now. Teho joined them on the ground, ignoring the soldiers around them. Gone how? Some died fighting, some died of old age, some just gave up. When the Star Children forgot us, when we had no purpose, many of my people chose to fade away. The communication device crackled. Again. General, the unknown ships are powering weapons. They appear to be targeting the planet. General Bakhayan looked torn between watching the sky and watching Narashi. Can those ships be stopped? Unknown, sir. Their technology does not match anything in our databases. Hansal felt more memories flowing from Narashi into his mind. He saw battles in space between creatures like her and ships that looked like moving darkness. He saw worlds turning gray and lifeless after the shadow feeders visited them. They feed on fear, he said aloud. That is how they destroy planets. They make everyone afraid, and then they eat the fear until nothing is left. That is impossible. Captain Sothok said, Fear is not food. Narashi made a sound that was almost like a sigh. You understand so little about the deep places between stars. There are forms of life that feed on emotions, on energy, on the connections between living things. Dr. Yanwu was recording everything on his scanner. The energy readings from the creature are increasing rapidly, and look at this. He showed his screen to the others. The hyperspace distortions around those ships match the energy signature from the creature. What does that mean? Tahoe asked. It means they exist partially in hyperspace and partially in normal space. Just like our friend here. I am not like them, Narashi said through the translator. My people chose to become guardians. We learned to travel between worlds to help others. The shadow feeders chose to become hunters. They learned to travel between worlds to destroy. The ground began to shake. In the sky, beams of dark light shot down from the alien ships toward the planets. Surface, they are testing the planet's defenses, General Bakhayan said. All units prepare for combat. Your weapons will not work against them, Narashi warned. Physical weapons cannot hurt beings that exist mostly in hyperspace. Then how do we fight them? The general demanded. Narashi tried again to stand. Up, this time Sojin and Tahoe helped support her massive body. Her crystal fur blazed with bright white light. The same way my people always fought them, with unity, with connection, with the bonds between different species. I do not understand, Dr. Yan Wu said. Hansal felt the understanding flow into his mind through his connection with Narashi. She means cooperation. The shadow feeders are strong because they feed on fear and division. But they are weak against unity and trust. That sounds like poetry, not military strategy, General Bakhayan said. It is both, Narashi replied. Long ago, humans and my people fought the shadow feeders together. Humans provided courage and creativity. My people provided knowledge of hyperspace and the ability to track the feeders. Together we were strong. Enough to drive them away. But you said humans only learned space travel recently? Captain Sothok pointed out. Recent for my people. We live much longer than you. What you call ancient history, we call yesterday. More alarms rang out. The strange ships in the sky were getting closer to the planet. The babies? Sujin said suddenly. When will your babies be born? Narashi's colors shifted to gold and red. Soon, very soon. The stress and fear are making it happen faster. What happens when they are born? Tahoe asked. If they are born among friends, among those who understand the old ways, they will remember everything. They will know how to fight the shadow feeders. They will be able to guide your people safely through hyperspace again. And if they are born among strangers, among fear, Narashi's colors turn dark, then they will be just animals. The memories will be lost forever. And the shadow feeders will consume this world like they have consumed so many others. Dr. Yan Wu looked at his scanner again. General, I am reading massive energy buildups from all the alien ships. They are preparing for a major attack. General Bakhayan made a decision. All civilian personnel return to the station immediately. Military units, defensive positions. That will not work, Hansal said, standing up. She just told us that fear makes them stronger. If we act afraid, if we run and hide, we are giving them exactly what they want. Then what do you suggest? Doctor? Hansal looked at Narashi, then at his friends, then at all the soldiers and scientists around them. We stay here, we help Narashi have her baby safely. We show the shadow feeders that we are not afraid. That is suicide, the general said. Maybe, but running away is definitely suicide. For this world, and eventually for all worlds? Sujin stepped forward. I will stay with Hansal. Me too, Tahoe said. Dr. Yan Wu hesitated, then nodded. This is the most important scientific discovery in history. I cannot leave now. One by one, others began to step forward. First some of the human soldiers. Then Captain Sothok, surprising everyone. Even some of the Threx guards, despite their fear. General Bakhayan looked around at his people, choosing to stay with the alien creature instead of following his orders to retreat. You are all insane, he said. But then he put down his weapon. But if we are going to be insane, we might as well do it together. Narashi made a sound that was pure joy. Her crystal fur blazed with every color of the rainbow. Thank you, the translator said. Thank you for remembering what it means to be brave. In the sky above, the shadow feeder ships moved closer. But for the first time since they arrived, Hansel felt hope instead of fear. The real battle was about to begin. The first shadow feeder ship landed in the forest like a piece of living darkness. It had no clear shape, just shifting black forms that hurt to look at directly. When it touched the ground, the grass around it turned gray and died. "Stay together." Hansel called to everyone. "Remember what Narashi said? They feed on fear and division." The humans, Valkyrie and Threx, formed a circle around Narashi. She was breathing heavily now. Her babies were coming soon. "I can see them," Sujin whispered, pointing at the dark ship. Things moving inside it. Shapes poured out of the shadow feeder ship. They looked like wolves, but wrong. Made of darkness and hunger. Their eyes were empty holes that seemed to pull light into them. "Do not look directly at them," Narashi warned through the translator. "They use fear as a weapon. Look at each other instead. Remember why you're here." The shadow creatures moved toward their group slowly, like they were testing the air. As they got closer, everyone began to feel afraid, but it was not the natural fear of danger. It was something deeper, a fear that made them want to run away from each other, to hide, to give up. "Fight it," Dr. Yanwu said. His voice was shaking. "This is not real fear. It is artificial." General Bakhayan raised his weapon, but his hands were trembling. "I have been in hundreds of battles. I have never felt fear like this." "Because you have never fought enemies that live in your mind," Teho said. He was holding Sujin's hand tightly. The shadow creatures stopped about 20 meters away. They seemed confused. Usually their fear attacks made people scatter and run. But this group was staying together. One of the shadow creatures opened its mouth and spoke. Its voice sounded like ice breaking. "Give us the last guardian. Give us the final memories. We will make your deaths quick." "No," Hansel said. He was surprised by how strong his voice sounded. "You cannot protect it forever, human. We have consumed 1,000 worlds. We have eaten the fear of 1,000,000 species. What makes you think you are different?" Hansel looked around at the circle of people protecting Narashi. Humans, lizard people, insect people, all different species working together. "Because we are not alone," Narashi made a sound of pain. Her babies were coming now. "Sujin, help her," Hansel said. Sujin knelt next to Narashi's belly. "I can see the first baby coming." "Everyone stay calm. This is the most important moment." The shadow creatures sensed what was happening. They rushed forward all at once, trying to reach Narashi before her babies could be born safely. But something amazing happened. As the creatures attacked, every person in the circle felt their fear disappear. Instead, they felt connected to each other and to Narashi. They felt her strength, her hope, her love for her unborn children. The shadow creatures hit an invisible wall made of courage and unity. They could not pass through it. "Impossible," their leader hissed. "Fear is stronger than hope. Darkness is stronger than light." "Not today," Captain Sothok said. Even though he was reptilian and had been afraid of Narashi for days, he now stood, ready to protect her. The first baby was born. It was small compared to its mother, only the size of a large dog. Its crystal fur was bright silver and blue. When it opened its eyes, they were golden like its mother's. The moment the baby took its first breath, something changed in the air. The shadow creatures staggered backward as if they had been hit. "The memories," Dr. Yanwu said in wonder. "The baby is remembering everything." The newborn made small sounds that the translator immediately understood. "Friends. Star children, home." "It recognizes us," Teho said. More babies were born quickly. 3 more, each one perfect and glowing, with its own inner light. As each baby was born, the shadow creatures grew weaker and more confused. "How is this possible?" their leader demanded. Narashi, exhausted but happy, lifted her head to look at the shadow creatures. "Because they are born among friends, not enemies. Because they remember what you made us forget." "What do you mean?" Hansel asked. "Long ago, shadow feeders were not evil. They were guardians too, like my people. But they chose to feed on negative emotions instead of positive ones. They chose fear instead of love, hatred instead of friendship. The baby wolves were trying to stand up on their small legs. Their crystal fur sparkled in the light from their mother. These little ones remember the time before the shadow feeders turned evil, Narashi continued. They remember when all species worked together to protect each other. The shadow creature leader made a sound of rage. We are what we chose to become. We are strong because we embrace the darkness. You are weak because you are alone, one of the baby wolves said through the translator. Its voice was tiny but clear. We can show you another way. Never. But something was happening to the other shadow creatures. They were looking at the baby wolves with confusion instead of hunger. Some of them were backing away. They are remembering too, Sujin realized. The babies are making them remember what they used to be. The shadow creature leader called to his followers, "Do not listen to them. We are hunters, not guardians." But it was too late. Several of the shadow creatures were changing. Their dark forms were becoming lighter. Their empty eyes were filling with something that looked like hope. The leader, seeing his followers abandoning him, made one last desperate attack. He lunged directly at the baby wolves. He never reached them. Every person in the circle, human and alien alike, stepped forward at the same time. They formed a wall of bodies between the attacker and the babies. The shadow creature hit their combined will and bounced backward like he had struck solid rock. "This is not over," he snarled. Then he retreated to his ship with the few followers who remained loyal to him. As the dark ship lifted off and disappeared into hyperspace, the shadow creatures who had chosen to stay began to change completely. Their forms became solid and real. They looked like wolves too, but made of starlight instead of darkness. "My lost cousins," Narashi said with joy. "You have come home." Dr. Yanwu was recording everything frantically. "This changes our understanding of everything. Evolution, consciousness, the nature of good and evil." General Bakhayan put away his weapon permanently. "I think I need to write some new military manuals." The baby wolves were nursing from their mother now. Already they seemed bigger and stronger. Their eyes held the wisdom of ages. "What happens now?" Hansal asked Narashi. "Now we rebuild the old alliance. Humans and Star Wolves together again. My children will teach your people to navigate hyperspace safely. You will teach them about courage and creativity. And the shadow feeders who escaped? They will spread word through the galaxy that this world is protected, that humans and Star Wolves are united again. Most shadow feeders will avoid you. The few who are brave enough to try will be met by defenders who are not afraid." Captain Sothok stepped forward. "What about the rest of us? The Valkyrie, the Threx, the other species?" One of the baby wolves looked at him with those wise golden eyes. "You stood with us when you could have run? You are part of the alliance too now." Teho sat down in the grass, suddenly feeling very tired. "So what do we do tomorrow?" Sujin laughed. "Tomorrow we figure out how to explain all this to the Galactic Council. Tomorrow we start building a better galaxy," Hansal said. "One where different species protect each other instead of fearing each other." Narashi's crystal fur glowed with warm colors as she watched her babies play with their new friends. "Tomorrow we remember that the strongest bonds are formed not in times of peace, but in moments when we choose to be brave together." As the sun rose over the forest, the research station Kepler-7 was no longer just a mining outpost. It had become the first embassy between humans and Star Wolves in thousands of years, and in the deep places between the stars, ancient guardians felt hope awakening after a long, dark sleep. The galaxy would never be the same.